My favorite way to make coffee at home right now is 2 shots of espresso with a little bit of cinnamon roll maple syrup from Aldi. It's like really good, surprisingly, and it actually does taste like a cinnamon roll. And then I'll make my own cold foam with a pump of vanilla syrup. I use sugar-free. It doesn't really taste that different to me, but I know some people think it tastes different. And I also add cinnamon to it. So good, the best. Hello, good afternoon. It is Friday at like 3 p.m. or a little bit past 3. I just got off work and my boyfriend and I are gonna go do a couple of errands. We have some things we need to just get from the store, but also we are gonna go to like Target and Michael's, I think, because he said that he's gonna get me stuff to like make me a little boo basket. So that's very exciting. I wanted to see if I know him well enough and if he knows me well enough so that I can guess what he's gonna get for me. Obviously, off the bat, I think he's gonna get me a new book just because he knows like I'm a book girl. I don't know if it will be a seasonal book or not, but I definitely think it'll probably be romance leaning just because he knows I'm kind of picky with like my fantasies. So I think he'll play it safe and get me like a cute little romance. That way he like knows that I'm a little more like lenient with what I read with romance. That's definitely like one thing I know he's gonna get me. I also think he's gonna get me a candle, because I love candles. We burn them all the time and they're just like very like fall-ish. I think he'll also get me a couple of decor pieces just because I've been saying that I want more fall decor and we haven't really done a lot of shopping together. So I think he'll probably pick out like 3 different things, like maybe little figures or like just like decor things to hang around. I do think that he may get me a plushie, like a little ghosty or a pumpkin, because I always say I want a jelly cat, but I'm like, oh my god, jelly cats are like, they're too expensive. Like I really cannot justify them. So I think he'll get me something that's like kind of similar to that. I don't think he'll get me any makeup items because I just don't really stray from like what I use on a day-to-day basis. So I think he'll just be like, I'm not gonna do that. But I think he may get me like some face masks because we like to do them together, like sheet masks. And I usually don't carry them, but I was like, oh, I wish I had like a face mask or whatever. What else? I think if he's gonna get me a snack, he will probably get me some kind of spicy chips or like kettle chips because those are like my 2 favorite. And I think that if he plans to get me like a drink to go with my snacks, it probably will be kind of coffee related, but I don't think it'll be pumpkin because he knows I don't really love pumpkin. Despite being a fall girl, like I'm not really into the pumpkin spice. It's just not me. I like apple and cinnamon better and like maple. So if it's coffee, probably something that's like cinnamony. If it's not coffee, maybe my favorite wine. I don't know, we haven't had it in a while. Although I did say I wanted to go to Trader Joe's and get the fall snacks, and they have an apple pie wine, and I'm like, oh my god, that sounds delish. So those are my predictions of what he gets me. We'll see like how he does when he gets back and makes me the little basket. And we're also going to Korean barbecue later, which I'm so excited for. I have not been to Korean barbecue in forever, and so it will be a great time. I have some reading updates to update you guys on, but right now he is waiting for me in the car, so I will go and come back later. Bye. Okay, so he set it up for me. Look how cute this is. Okay, I have to go through everything. But this is really cute. Oh my god, there's so much in here. Oh. You wanna, should I pull it out and then you explain, or you wanna go through it?
Pull it out.
Okay, I like this.
It's ghosties.
Ghost mug, love it. Magic house, ooh. That's cute.
So like a little witch station.
That's so cute, I love that. Perfect for like Halloween. Wait, I love this guy.
I know, you like the dinghy feet.
He's so
you can take it to your work desk or something.
I love it. He's so cute. Look at the girls like him.
This is from the Aldi.
Oh.
That's the pour for that.
Oh, you got it from Aldi.
Yeah.
It's so cute. I love it. Thank you.
Yeah, so we have a nice, like, so when we ever have something with a gravy.
Yeah. This is the pumpkin candle. Yeah. Hopefully the girls don't break it. Yeah. This smells really good.
It's like a black shiny starry one. It's like
that's
it's called
pretty.
Starry Night, so I think it'd be like a little witchy. It's got sparkles in it.
I'll definitely do that for my
I'm gonna do all black, but I was like, you want sparkles. So
yeah.
Put sparkles in it.
I think that's great. Good morning, happy Saturday. It's about, I think, like 11:15. I'm currently getting ready because I have book club in like an hour and a half ish, and I have some things to do before then to set up and get everything ready. So just doing like some quick makeup. Our event this month for our book club is a practical magic picnic, which is fun, and I feel like it's very fall themed, even though in Texas it is still, it's like 77 degrees and it's really sunny and it's actually quite nice outside, but it's still not like fall weather. But to get us in the fall mood, I decided that it would be fun to do like a practical magic kind of themed picnic, just kind of like mostly fall themed. The practical magic was just like a little touch that I wanted to add. And we are going to be decorating like mini pumpkins. I asked everyone to bring like a little pumpkin. It doesn't have to be little, to be honest, it could be big. But I also got pressed flowers and I got Mod Podge to kind of like glaze it with. And I saw a TikTok someone doing it and I was like, that is so cute, I want to do it. Because originally I think we were planning on like decorating mugs with like ceramic markers that you can kind of draw on, which I'm sure we'll do eventually because we usually like to incorporate a kind of craft when we meet up. But I thought this like decorating pumpkins was like perfect since it's like kind of fallish anyways. But the book that we are reading this month is Can't Spell Treason Without T by Rebecca Thorne. I originally liked it, but I think the further in I got, the more I was kind of like, it's okay. I think I'm gonna give it like a generous 3 stars. Like, it was good, it was cute, it was cozy, but also I do think like the main characters, I personally didn't feel like they had the best chemistry. And especially when like that's the premise, like the foundation that like the story is built on, is like they're so in love, they want to run away together, which is essentially like committing treason because one of our main characters, Raina, like ends up leaving the queen's service without telling her. So it's like considered treason in the kingdom. And I'm like, okay, if you're gonna do all that, like I need to feel that you guys are in love with each other. Do you know what I mean? And I just like, I didn't feel that. I haven't read Legends and Lattes quite yet. I have the book and I've been wanting to read it, but I just kind of like, I don't know, I had other things that I was planning on reading. But my friend who did read that was saying like it felt like a knockoff of Legends and Lattes, but like not done as well. And I was like, that kind of checks out. So I give it a 3. I think for the right audience and for the right person, this could be a really great book. Like, I liked it. I think it was like, I feel like it's very like, if you like the vibe, rather than like if the plot is good, like that's why people like it. It just wasn't my favorite thing that I've read recently, and I am very excited to see, however, what the rest of my book club thinks and what we're gonna like talk about, because my book club is kind of like, it's very casual, where it's like you can come if you've read the book and you can come if you haven't read the book. Like, it's mostly a space to kind of like hang out with other like book girlies and kind of get to know each other, and it's kind of just a way for us to like connect with people because the city is so large. And like, I feel like this is like such a weird side tangent, but like I feel like in like 2024 after the pandemic, like a lot of people have been experiencing like issues with like kind of meeting new people. Like, I don't know, I feel like when I talk to people, they're like, yeah, like I feel like I've become introverted since, you know, the pandemic, and like I really relate to that because I'm very much an extrovert, and like, yes, I am still an extrovert, but I feel like I'm more of an introverted extrovert now, in which like I like going out, but at a certain point in my night I'm like, I need to go home. And I think that's just because during COVID, like we got so used to being comfortable at home, and so it's kind of like I started the book club to kind of try and practice that like extrovertedness and like getting to know people and making those connections again after, you know, all of the lockdown restrictions were lifted. So I really like it. We've been a book club for about 2 years now, and it's really great. Like, I've met a lot of good friends through there. It's just nice to kind of like meet people once a month, and we usually do like fun events like this, or sometimes we'll do a little bit more like fancier events. Like during Christmas, I always host a white elephant book exchange where you like, it's kind of like those like blind date with the books where you like wrap a book, you write a little description of it. So it's that, but it's white elephant. So like people can kind of steal theirs if they think it's good. But that is my favorite event that we do like out of all of the other events, and I'm really excited for it this year because I feel like there are gonna be so many good books that we can like do an exchange on. But right now I'm just finishing up my makeup. I wanted to talk a little bit about some other books that I've been reading. I am still reading the Spellshop. I actually was just listening to it like right before I turned on the camera, and I think I mentioned this like recently. I really like it. It is, I think the vibes of this one are kind of what Can't Treason Without T, or Can't Spell Treason Without T was going for, but these ones are done a little bit better. I think the pacing is better. I will say I would love to read reviews after I'm done to see like what people think about the main character, because I don't know if she's meant to be an unlikable protagonist, which I don't have anything against, but like, not that I dislike her, but she's a little bit like very uptight to the point where it's like a little bit hard sometimes to kind of like relate to her, and you're just kind of like, girl, okay, like it's not that big of a deal. But also, like, I can see why some people would relate to her, because I have a friend who's like very introverted, the same way the main character is, and I was like, no, I definitely think like she relates to her. But I also feel like it's very easy for people to not really like the protagonist. I do wonder if anyone has like disliked the protagonist to a point where they just kind of don't read the book, because I've DNF'd books for that too, like, because sometimes there's just characters where you're like, I really cannot do this, like I can't, it's okay, like no hate, but it's just not for me. And like, I do actually like her. I think like the reason why she acts the way she acts in the book is like explained, so it's not really confusing, but I do wonder like what other people think about it, because she is a little bit like very uptight, and like she's very introverted and very particular about things. So at the beginning I was kind of like, I don't really know if I like her, but I think it's done on purpose. And then I think we kind of are gonna see her like grow later on, because we're already starting to see her kind of like do things that like, you know, she wouldn't have done originally growing up, and she's like, but you know, now I'm like living on my own, I kind of can live by my own set of rules, maybe I can like venture out. So I think that's probably what's going on here. But it'll be interesting to see like what the other reviews say after I finish. I also started listening to another arc, which I'm so happy that I got approved for. I got accepted for Januaries, which is Olivie Blake's newest book, I guess. It's a collection of short stories, and I just got the audio version because that's what I applied for on NetGalley, and it is coming out on paperback, or I think hardback actually first, but it comes out in October, I think like October 15th or something like that, and it's a collection of short stories that she wrote that are kind of like, wait, let me see if I can pull up the description. Okay, it says, okay, the description on NetGalley says, with both iconic fan favorite stories and entirely original pieces, Januaries features modified fairy tales, contemporary heists, absurdist poetry, and at least one set of actual wedding vows. Escape the slow trudge of mortality by diving into these enchanting new worlds with a master of imagination. And honestly, I really like it, and I'm not someone who like, I don't actively seek out short stories, or nor do I like dislike them. I just, it's not something that I really read very often. And when I applied for this, I was like, you know what, this seems really cool. I'm also like a big audiobook girl, love audiobooks, and I was like, you know what, let's apply for it, we'll see. I didn't think I was gonna get approved, and I did, and I'm so glad I did, because I have read, I think I'm on the 5th one of the short stories. There's a lot, so there's 14 like short stories. There's a lot of different people who are narrating them for each story, and I feel like they fit the vibe. There is one guy who narrates it that I'm like, I don't really like his voice, so I kind of skipped over his part for now, and I'm like, I'll come back to it. But I do really like the stories in here. When I was listening at work, I was like, wait, I need like a full-fledged novel from this like little excerpt, and I don't know if it is, and I don't know if those exist, but I would say they're really good. They're very whimsy. I think they're great for fall because they're like very magical feeling, like very whimsical, you know? So I really like it, and I would definitely put it on your TBR. Okay, I finished getting ready. I will show the full outfit when I'm like about to leave and I like pass by my mirror and whatever, but I decided to do these little like pigtail braids because I feel like they're kind of like fallish, like I don't know, they kind of remind me of like Practical Magic vibes, and I just like feel like doing my hair. So this was a lot easier than I thought because I did these like twisty things, and I just looked up how to do it on TikTok, and I actually really like the way it looks. So I'm very excited. I am leaving in a couple minutes to go set up at the park that we're having the picnic at. Hopefully it doesn't get too hot, and maybe we can find a table in the shade, because in the shade it feels really nice. But I stepped outside, I feel like I looked kind of like a freak because there was a guy who works here that like walked by and he was staring at me, but I wasn't looking at him because I was just like standing in the sun, like not looking at anything, and I was like, hey, that's how I gauge temperature. I'm like, if I stand in the sun, for how long can I like deal with the sun beaming down on me if it's hot or not? But I'm sure we'll be fine, and we'll end up finding a table and like whatever, yada yada. It'll be fun regardless. But after that, I don't think I have anything super big planned for today. My boyfriend and I are planning, I think, a little fall like at home date, because yesterday we were like out and about. We went to Korean barbecue for dinner, which was so good. I literally like passed out after. I was in such a food coma. And then I think I'm gonna play Tiny Glade, which is a new game that I just got. I don't know if I mentioned it previously, but it is this like medieval building builder, I guess, or I don't know the exact term for it. It's like, I guess it's not necessarily a city builder because you're not building a city, but it gives you like these different kind of like seasons. So they have fall, they have summer, spring, and like kind of like this old town kind of vibe, and you get to just like build like these medieval like looking buildings, and there's so much you can do that I did not realize that like if you like move certain parts a certain way, like it'll do a whole completely new build, and it's super fun, very cozy, so very low stakes. And they do a daily thing where it's like every day they give you like a new theme, which I think is fun. Yesterday's theme was like a sun priest temple, which I had a lot of fun doing. And the day before, when I first got the game, it was like a vampire's secluded cottage on an island. Like that, you were supposed to like build something that like what you think that would look like. So really fun. Would recommend for like girlies who like to game but like cozy game, you know what I mean? If you like games like A Little to the Left and stuff like that, I think you would have a lot of fun with it. And the animation is like, it is gorgeous. Also, there are like sheep that just like wander in the game. Like you can't really do anything with them, but there's a feature where like you can like raise the building or raise the ground that they're on top of, and then if you like lower it, they like fall back to the ground with like a little parachute, and it is the cutest thing ever. Would recommend playing. But yeah, I think that is all I have planned for today. Tomorrow is Sunday and I don't really have anything to do off the top of my head, so I might just relax because I've kind of been go recently, and like I feel like my brain has had this like weird brain fog thing going on, and it's finally starting to go away. So I'm like, I don't want to overwhelm myself and then be stuck back in that again. But I'm about to leave to go to my book club, so I will see you guys later.
You have to like go look at some books that like maybe you haven't read yet, or like because like nonfiction never gets touched,
right?
And like mystery thriller.
I always say fall is my favorite season, but Christmas is my favorite holiday. That's how I am.
Hello, good morning. It is Sunday and I am currently journaling and drinking my morning coffee. I'm still in an iced coffee mood, so that's why I put a straw in here and there's ice in my latte, but I just wanted to use like my holiday mugs now, so I'm like, it's fine, I'll just put ice in it and use a straw, whatever. But I have been journaling for the last like half hour or so. I find that like now that I've started journaling regularly, like it really does help kind of like gather all my thoughts and like makes me like take a moment to slow down in the morning. So I feel like it's really beneficial for me, and I just really like it. I don't know, it's fun. I got these like new Tombow pens. I only got two because I feel like these are kind of like fall colors. This one's like a maroon burgundy and this one's just like a brown, and I'm kind of like slowly adding it to my morning routine and I really like it, so hopefully I keep that up. But I wanted to talk about the book that my book club read because I never fully went into it yesterday. Our September book was Can't Spell Treason Without Tea by Rebecca Thorne. I'll put a little picture right here. And I feel like the general consensus for my book club is that it was okay. Like it was fine, you know, it wasn't the worst thing in the world, but one of my friends said she kind of just felt like apathetic towards it. I haven't finished reading Legends and Latte, so I couldn't speak on this, but one of my friends who did read that and is a big fan of that book was kind of like, it kind of just felt like it was a knockoff of Legends and Latte but wasn't done as well, which I could kind of see because it was the same like, oh, you know, leaving whatever you were doing in the past to go like run you know, a tea shop and whatever. So I get like it's along the same premise, but she just said that like she finished the book and she was just like, it just felt like they were trying to be Legends and Latte, but it just wasn't as good. And I didn't finish the book. I think I got about halfway through, and my biggest thing was just like, spoiler warning, if you plan to read this book, stop listening now and like go ahead for a couple minutes. But I was saying that like, you know, the whole premise is that our main character Reyna left the queen's service that she serves, and it's like basically like treason because she left her post without saying anything, and she did that because she loves, you know, her girlfriend and like wants to start this life with her. But I just felt like they didn't have any chemistry, like the characters themselves, like I just didn't really believe that they were like in love to the point where like, you know, you're willing to commit treason and like live in exile and whatever. So like I was just like, well, if that's like the point of the book, like I should, you know, really feel the love. Hello. between the two characters, and it just like, I think as a book club we kind of gave it like a generous 3-star rounded up rating. Would I go back and reread it? Probably not. I don't think I'll go and finish it just because I am reading other books that I am a little more interested in. But I think overall it wasn't like a bad book. I think for the right person, like, this is a great book. It just wasn't for us, I think. So I heard the second book is a little bit better, and I think what happened is like, because one of my friends was talking about like the review she read, people said that the author kind of left a lot of things out in the first book to like set it up so that they could talk about it in the second book, and like that's just not my preference. Like, I just don't think like you should do that, because it kind of just like as a reader kind of turns me off from it. Personal preference, like I said, but I'm just like, it doesn't need to be a trilogy if it doesn't need to be a trilogy. You know, if it's a standalone, that's fine, or if it's a duology, that's fine. Like, not everything needs to be a trilogy. Like, my friend kind of pointed it out to me a couple weeks ago, and I'm like, you are so correct. Actually, I never really thought about that, because a lot of books kind of suffer from like middle book syndrome. Like, but I just know that there are some series that kind of get dragged out when it doesn't really need to be. Like I think it's the Good Shepherd or the Dark Shepherd series. I don't know the actual series name, but it's the one with One Dark Window by Rachel Gillig. That's a duology, and it only really needs to be a duology, to be honest. Like, I read both of the books, and I don't think it needed a third book, and I don't think it should have been extended to a third book. So like, I think, you know, if you know your book well enough and you know your plot or whatever, like, it doesn't really need to be like spread out to a trilogy, even though I know trilogies are like popular, if that makes sense. But the actual event was really fun. We had like little pumpkins that we decorated with. I'll see if I can insert a picture right here too, because they actually turned out really cute. Although I will say, if you ever do this craft, it's basically like using Mod Podge to kind of glue like dried flowers onto pumpkins. Get a fake pumpkin. Don't get a real pumpkin, because they think they're too smooth and like they're too hard. I mean, so would a plastic one, but the plastic one, I think like it just like grips better, because some of my friends had a plastic pumpkin and those turned out like to be a lot easier to glue the flowers on. But it was really fun. We just like chatted about books and whatever, what we were reading, like had some snack, had some girl talk, you know. Overall, a really great time. So I had a lot of fun, and I'm not sure we're gonna read next month, but I'm thinking it'll probably be something kind of like spooky, since obviously it's October. Speaking of spooky-ish books, I am very excited to read the book that my boyfriend got me. It is The 13th Child by Erin Craig, and let me just read a little bit of the synopsis. It says that Hazel Trapaz has always known she wasn't like the rest of her siblings. A 13th child promised away to one of the gods. She spent her childhood waiting for her godfather, Merrick the Dreaded End, to arrive. All gifts come with a price. Hazel can see when death has claimed a patient when all hope is gone, and is tasked to end their suffering permanently. Haunted by the ghost of those she killed, she longs to run, but destiny brings her to the royal court, where she meets Leo, a rakish prince with a disdain for everyone and everything. And it's where Hazel faces her biggest dilemma yet. Does she save the life of a king marked to die, or what does she do if she goes against the will of death? So this actually like sounds really cool, because I think I'm starting to be interested in like more gothic fantasies, kind of like One Dark Window, Belladonna, which kind of, Belladonna kind of sounds similar to this. I think it's different because it's not like she's tasked to kill people, but in Belladonna, she definitely like sees death. I'm not finished with Belladonna, so I don't actually know the whole thing. But from what I've read, it's like I don't think she can die, so, but she like communicates with death. So this is kind of like along that same vein, but I think it's a little different because it's like she's tasked with actually like killing people in this. I know Erin Craig did write House of Salt and Sorrow, which I think is a Barbie and the 12 Dancing Princesses like gothic retelling. My friend lent me the book because she was like, I know you love Barbie, and like I read this book and I thought it was really good. So I think I'm gonna read, I don't know which one I'll read first, because I've been wanting to read House of Salt and Sorrow, but I know my boyfriend's gonna be like, but I got you this book, like you should read it first. And I'm like, okay, we'll see. They're not in the same series though, so like whatever. So those two books will definitely be added to my October TBR, and I have some arcs that I want to read. I also have This Will Be Fun by Evie Asher, which the description says, former friends and former flames reunite on a mayhem spike quest in this cozy romantasy, perfect for readers of Legends and Lattes and lovers of Shrek. Which is kind of funny, and I love Shrek. Like, it's, listen, you know, I think it's one of the greatest movies of all time, okay? But I'm very excited for it. It seems like it'll be like fun and like quirky. So I think that'll probably be like a kind of like palette cleanser in between the like more gothic fantasies that I'm reading. And I'm still planning on reading Inferno's Heir by Tiffany Wang. Very excited for that. And finishing Olivia Blake's Januaries, because I have that on audio and I will just listen to that at work. So like I don't think that'll be a problem to finish. So that's my kind of like unofficial TBR, I think, for next month. Like 4 or 5-ish books. we'll see if I finish all of them. I've definitely read like 5 or more books like in a month. It's just like fantasy sometimes take me longer to read rather than romances, just because my brain will all of a sudden be like, actually I'm not processing anything. And you're just reading words. Like, you know what I mean? When you're just like reading something but your brain is not like really understanding it. Your brain is just kind of like looking at the words but you don't actually like process what they mean. That happens to me. Especially if it's like really world building dense. My brain will sometimes just be like, I actually don't know anything you just read. Go read it again. And I'm like, damn it. Okay. But very excited for those books this month. For today, I think I'm just going to like relax around the apartment. We cleaned it, which is really nice. So it's like a very clean apartment. Ignore the box there. I leave my Amazon boxes there because my cats like to play with them. And if you have a cat, keep your Amazon boxes because it's free enrichment. If you put like tissue paper in there and like treats, they'll play with it a lot. But it's a nice day outside. I think I'm just gonna like relax. I think we might go get matcha at this new matcha cafe that is supposed to have like the best matcha around. Take a shot every time I just said matcha. But for right now, I think I'm going to finish journaling, maybe do some reading, and then make breakfast because I'm kind of hungry. I'm kind of obsessed with this. It's like a candle, like I guess it snuffs the candle out, but it looks like a little Christmas tree. How festive. Does it smell good? It smells very man.
It does.
I don't dislike it.
Then there's this one, which is the upside down.
Mossy stone, smoky birch tree, and eerie fog. It kind of feels like a Halloween-y scent, you know?
It's too light.
It's like a bathroom scent, I think. And then there's the Demogorgon over here.
Demogorgon.
Yeah.
The Demogorgon.
Oof, ew, no, I really don't like that at all, actually. I think that Eddie's one is pretty nice, but it's like a very man scent. Like if you were a bachelor living by yourself.
A little disappointing.
You think so?